Is the Houston housing market heating up? Is it cooling down? Or is it just plain unpredictable? From builder price wars to hidden costs that drain your wallet, these are the 5 things that everyone in the Houston real estate market is talking about right now. And whether you're looking to buy, sell, or just watching to see what's going on in the market, what's happening right now could shape your next move. My name is Danny, and I'm with the Living in Houston, Texas channel. We'd like for you to take a moment to subscribe to the channel, tap the bell so you get all the latest updates about living in the suburbs of Houston, Texas. And if you're thinking about making a move, please don't hesitate to contact us. All of our contact information is located in the description below. Let's dive in and tell you about the top 5 things happening in the Houston real estate market right now. All right, the first thing we're seeing in the Houston real estate market right now is that inventory is surging and the market is balancing itself out. Right now, the Houston housing market is seeing a dramatic shift in momentum. Inventory is up 30% year over year, and that's one of the highest levels that we've seen in recent years regarding active listings. Right now, currently, there's about 5 months supply of inventory on the market right now, which means the days of bidding wars and home selling quickly and flying off the market are almost non-existent. In suburbs where they're like Katy, Cypress, Sugarland, and Fulshire, what's happening is builders are moving into those areas and they're releasing more and more inventory, which is causing many of the resale homes in these suburbs to stay on the market longer and longer unless they're priced competitively and move-in ready. For buyers, this is a game changer. You've got more homes to choose from, you've got more negotiating power, and in a lot of cases, the builders and the sellers are offering concessions that can help cover your closing costs or help buy down your rate, which definitely helps right now because interest rates are sky high. For sellers, what's that mean? It means that you're no longer just listing your house and waiting to get an offer. You have to strategically price it. There's got to be curb appeal. It needs to be in move-in ready state. Those things are essential. And the one thing that really separates other homes from selling is that it needs to be priced correctly. It has to be at a price where the buyer looks at it and says, this is a value for this house in this market at this interest rate. And if you price your home too high just to see, hey, let's see if we can get an offer, it's likely going to sit. And days on market are the enemy of any listing. All right, the second thing we're going to talk about today in our top 5 things that are happening in the Houston real estate market right now is that luxury is booming, but median home prices are holding steady. And that's been one of the most surprising trends right here in the Houston market is that luxury is booming right now. It's up over 40% from last year. In Houston, we typically define luxury as anything that's $1 million and up. And we're seeing homes that are priced in that $1 million and up price point moving fast in neighborhoods like River Oaks, the Heights, Tanglewood, Memorial, and even some of the master plan communities like Bridgeland, Cross Creek Ranch are seeing a dramatic increase in not only the builders building homes that are $1 million plus, but the activity we're seeing in that range. And at the same time, we're also seeing the median home price is holding pretty steady. Right now, that price is about $346,000, which means that overall affordability has not taken a major hit. And just to kind of give you some data to contrast, right now, the average home price is $450,000. And what we're seeing is that some of that average price is being driven by a lot of that luxury market homes being sold right now. Those homes that are $1 million and up, those are driving that average price to $450,000. That's why we're looking at that median price is $346,000, which gives us the idea that that median home price is staying pretty steady. So what does this mean for buyers and sellers? It means that if you're a buyer, there is still some affordable inventory across Houston and its suburbs. You can still find value in different communities. If you're a seller with a luxury home, this is definitely your moment. They are moving fast. Demand is strong, especially for homes with modern finishes, pools, energy efficient features. Those homes are moving fast. And the reason they're doing that is because we're seeing an influx of buyers relocating from California, New York, and Chicago. And that is what's driving this luxury boom. Because keep in mind that for that same price, that $1 million and up price, the home that you can get here in Houston is going to be much larger than the one that you can get in California, New York, or in Chicago. And so when these folks are transferring here, they're seeing what they can get, and they're saying that is a great value for me at that price point. And that's one of the reasons we're seeing that high demand in the luxury market. And lastly, another thing for buyers and sellers, we're seeing that builders are catching on to. They're shifting their focus to large floor plans, high-end finishes, and even doing this in the suburban communities. I'm actually just did a video on a community. It's a kind of a master plan community, and they have 1 acre lots, homes ranging from 4,000 or 5,000 square feet, and it's dedicated to that high-end market, and it's a pretty exclusive neighborhood. So we're seeing a lot of activity for builders in that range. All right, the third thing that we're seeing in the Houston market right now is that there are some suburbs that are just exploding. And for this list, I'm just going to give you 4 that are we're seeing a huge growth and an increase. And the first one is the one that you've probably heard of, is Fulshear, Texas. Fulshear is one of the fastest growing cities in the United States, 27% growth increase. And right now, Fulshear has reached 54,000 residents, and that's huge. And what that means for you is that in Fulshear, you're going to get brand new homes, you're going to get master plan communities. You're also going to get some rural charm, right? It is far enough outside of the city, so there is some of that rural charm. And if families are looking to kind of get a slower pace, to get some really good schools and going into a place where they can really bond with their neighbors, this might be a great place for you. And in this area, we're seeing high buyer demand, especially for entry level and mid-luxury homes. They continue to build homes in this area. There are so many new developments that are planned in the Fulshear area, but it is one of the hottest and fastest growing areas in the Houston suburbs. The second one that we're seeing a lot of growth is Atascocita. Right now, Atascocita is ranked number 5 nationally for fastest growth. It's seen an 11% increase, translating to nearly 40% growth over the last 5 years. Why that matters to buyers is it used to be a really rural area with very little residential development, and now it's turning into one of Houston's really boom areas. We're seeing a lot of new development in the Atascocita area. And what this means is that for first-time home buyers, you're getting a lot of value in these communities. The third one we're seeing a lot of growth in is Conroe and the Lake Conroe area. Right now, it's currently ranked number 9 in population growth. It's seen about 25% growth over the last 5 years. Conroe itself accounted for 14,000 single-family permits over the last year, and that's been more than most major suburbs combined. And what that means is that they're rapidly building homes in proximity to Lake Conroe. We're seeing an increase of master plan community, and that's really fueling demand for this area. People want to have that lake living. They want to be close to Lake Conroe. And so developers are taking note. They're building a lot of homes in this area, and that's definitely causing an increase for this suburb. And the last one on our list is Cypress. And if you're familiar with the Houston area, then you definitely know Cypress. You know that they have good schools. There are some really nice homes. And it is consistently ranked as one of the nation's hottest areas by Open Door. And we're seeing a lot of growth in that area. And the reason that people really like Cypress is there's a lot of new home inventory. There's some parks. They have top-rated schools. And there's a lot of resort-style living in these master plan communities along 290 and in that Cypress area. And this is a really strong area if you have a family or you're looking to maybe not be as far out as some of these other communities, because Fulshear, Conroe, Atascocita, those places are pretty far out from Houston proper. But Cypress, one of the big attractions is that is not that far from Houston proper. So if you work in downtown, the medical center, energy corridor, places like that, Cypress might be really appealing for you. All right, number 4 on our list is that we're seeing a lot of people talking about the hidden cost. And what I mean by that is insurance and other things that affect the affordability of your home price. Homeowners across Houston are feeling the squeeze, especially when you see what's happening with insurance, taxes, and maintenance. Home insurance premiums in Texas are surging. They're up nearly 40% since 2015, and that's due to a lot of factors. Mainly, it's because of factors like flooding, hurricanes, and extreme heat risks. These are all things that happen in the greater Houston area. And especially one of the things that people don't always account for is flood insurance. We have a lot of places in Houston that are located in flood zones, and you can look at an increased premium. A lot of these mortgage companies, if you move into a place that is a flood zone, they require you to carry flood insurance, and that's averaging between $4,000 and $5,000 a year, and that's in addition to your home insurance. So if you are looking at a house, make sure that you ask your real estate agent, is this in a flood zone? Because that can severely affect the affordability of your house. And it is not optional. If you move into an area that is a flood zone, it is not optional. And I also recommend a lot of the folks that I take to buy new homes, I recommend, depending upon where they live, for them to carry flood insurance. If you're not in a flood zone, sometimes the premiums are a lot lower, sometimes ranging between $400, $500, $600. And it's just a good value, because one of the things we have seen is that Houston is susceptible to floods. It's susceptible to hurricanes. And when these things happen, sometimes it's unpredictable. A lot of times we saw when there were some of the major events, the flooding happened in places that weren't flood zones. So it's a good idea to factor that in as well. Although it will be a lot higher if you're in a flood zone. If you're not in a flood zone, it's always a good idea to kind of carry that flood insurance too. A few of the other factors to consider when you're looking at overall affordability of your house is the property taxes in Houston. They're averaging about 2.3%. And that's among the highest in the country. On a $400,000 home, that's nearly $9,000 a year. Another thing to consider is the HOA fees. All of these new communities have an HOA, and some of these master plan communities, these higher end where you're having those resort style amenities, those can range from $1,000 to $1,500 annually, just depending upon the different communities and the amenities that they have. So those are things that you need to consider. And then you need to consider utilities, especially during the summer. Utilities can average $300 to $400 a month, particularly if you're living in an older house that has not a lot of energy efficient features. So those are things to consider when you're moving into a new home. So what does that mean for buyers? That means when you're shopping for a home, don't just shop based on the price of the home. You need to shop based on the total monthly ownership cost. That means insurance, that means HOA, that means utilities, all of those things that come with owning a home. It's also important to get an insurance quote when you're in the option period. During that early phase, when you're purchasing a house, when you go under contract, get quotes for insurance so you know how much that's going to be. Don't wait till you get further along in the contract until you find out how much that insurance actually is. Another thing that you want to do to keep these utility costs down is to prioritize energy efficient features. Make sure that you get a home that has energy efficient features, or look at a new construction home. Those will tend to save you in the long term. And then also you want to check with your realtor to learn about MUDs. MUD is a municipal utilities district. In a lot of communities, that adds to the tax rate annually. So you want to make sure you know what that is before you move in. And for sellers, if you are looking to sell a home, make sure that you can provide the insurance and utility history, because buyers are going to want to look at that. And then if you've made recent upgrades like roof, HVAC, new windows, things that are going to help with the energy efficiency, make sure that you document those and keep a record of those things. And the last thing that I want to just say about this is that in Houston, affordability isn't just about the purchase price of the house. It's about the full financial picture. It's about what you're actually spending each month to make sure that you have that home. And you need to know those costs up front so that you can make a well-informed decision about moving into a property. And number 5 on our list of the top things happening in the Houston real estate market right now is that builders are offering major incentives and price drops to win buyers. Across the Houston suburbs, builders are pulling out all the stops to attract buyers, and in some instances trying to create opportunities for people to get a new home in this market. And what we're seeing is big price reductions. Nationwide, nearly 38% of builders dropped prices in June, and Houston is following that trend with an average reductions of 5% or more. Many builders are cutting tens of thousands of dollars on move-in ready homes, especially on larger floor plans or unspec inventory. In fact, I got an email this week from a builder that is dropping a home price in a community $100,000. And these are the things that builders are doing to try to move inventory. In some of these neighborhoods that are already built out where they only have a couple of spec homes, they are doing massive price reductions to try to get that inventory moved. And then in addition to that, a lot of them are offering lower interest rate or rate buy downs. What these builders are doing now is they're going to these mortgage companies and they're getting these special financing rates. And sometimes these are a whole percent or 2% lower than what the market average is. And right now we're seeing the market average right below 7%. And some of the builders are offering 4.9 to 5.5%. So that's a significant decrease in your interest cost per month. Also, they're doing rate buy downs, which means that for the first 3 years you get a lower rate, and then on that 4th year it increases as well. But a lot of these builders are offering significant rate decreases, and that definitely helps with your overall affordability when it comes down to monthly cost. And then lastly, what the builders are doing, they're offering credits for closing costs, design credits. They're giving you free upgrades. It used to be when you bought a new house, there were a lot of things that weren't included. The gutters, the blinds, the appliances, sometimes even sod in the backyard. These things weren't part of the house, or even sprinkler systems. Now what these builders are doing is they're including everything. They want you to feel like when you move in this home, you're going to have everything you need. They're including blinds, they're including sprinkler systems, they're including gutters, they're including sod in the backyard, they're including sprinkler systems. All of those things which would have cost you extra in years past are now included when you move in. And in addition to that, they're giving you money so you don't have to come out of pocket with closing costs. And that is pretty amazing right now. And so why does this matter? It matters because with resale inventory rising and interest rates still higher, these builders are offering a dramatic reduction in what your monthly payment and upfront cost is. In some cases, you can save as much as $30,000, even more. I recently had a client who saved about $60,000 on the home cost. She didn't pay anything in closing costs, and she got a below market interest rate. It turned out to be a really great deal for an inventory home in a master plan community. So if you're interested in hearing about some of those specials that are going on across these inventory homes in these neighborhoods, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. All of our contact information is located in the description below. We want to help you find a house that's affordable and that fits within your budget. And lastly, I want to close this section by saying if you've been on the fence about buying new construction, now is a great time to take another look. Builders are motivated. I'm seeing in the news daily and hearing from builders in the market that they have a ton of inventory and they want to get it sold. They're motivated to get it sold. So if you're looking at new construction, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We'd love to guide you through that process. So whether you're buying, selling, or investing, or just keeping an eye on the market, Houston is shifting fast, and staying informed is your best advantage. But maybe You don't have time to keep up with all that's going on in the Houston real estate market. In that case, you can hire us. We stay tuned with what's happening in the market daily, and we use all of that knowledge to help you get the very best deal on a property that you're looking for that's within your budget. We hope you'd enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please like it and share it with your friends. And also wanted to make sure, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to our channel and tap the bell so you get all the latest updates. And if you or anyone you know is looking to move to Houston or one of the suburbs, we'd love to talk to you and have a conversation about how we can help you do that. All of our contact information is below. We'll see you on the next video.